making his way to Kunlun. What is the Iron Fist place called? I always mess that up. I think it's Kunlun, but that doesn't really sound right. Anyway, what's going on, everybody? GemMint here, and welcome to the new Comic Book Day Reviews. It is Wednesday, August 24th, but the video came out a little bit late. I just flew back in from Emerald City Comic-Con yesterday on Tuesday, so I had to pick up the DC books for the physical copies, read them, and drop this review. Man, I loved it out there at Emerald City. It was so cool to meet some of you guys out there, meeting creators, artists, and writers, doing epic whatnot streams. So much fun. Love the human interaction after the crazy last couple of years we've had. With that out the way, let's jump right into this week's comics. We're going to start with Marvel and Amazing Spider-Man issue 8. This is by Wells, Ramita Jr., Hanna, and Menez. I think this is the run that just shows Peter Parker getting his ass beat every issue. He was getting thrashed by Tombstone, now he's getting thrashed by the Vulture. So in the last issue, Peter exposes that the Vulture is a murderer to one of his loved ones, and he goes off the rails and tries to murder Spider-Man for calling him out as being a murderer. Now, one panel in this I didn't really like. I don't think that Adrian Toomes, what is he, 70 years old, would say, "Motherfucker, are you steering me?" Like, it just seems like something that a younger person would say. I don't know. I mean, I kind of like the whole action-packed battle aspect of this run so far, but that's pretty much just what it is. Spider-Man getting his ass beat. On to Axe, Avengers X-Men Eternals Judgment Day, Issue 3, Kieran Gillen, joined by Valerio Schiti and Marte Garcia. So not only are mutants being judged by the Eternals for becoming deviants of humans, but now they've awoken this celestial that is judging all of humankind, all of mankind. So you have Eternals and Avengers working together to try to prevent that, to try to figure out how to save the world. So the stakes are higher than ever. It was a lot of action and battle sequences. I like how we have these two different celestial bodies. One is on the side of good, one's on the side of bad. You got Uranus or whatever, Thanos' father or grandfather in the mix. So I kind of liked it. It was a big action-packed book with big high stakes. It's a Marvel event. Then we've got Carnage by Ram V, Mana, and Arsene Yeager. You know, I really have been liking the Carnage series. I just felt like this one was a little lackluster. Carnage on the home planet of the elves, the Dark Elves, where Malekith resides, and he's got his little protege with him, setting him up, testing him on this quest to gain powers of these superpowered beings. So Carnage has already got the powers of, like, what, Spot, somebody else, Hydro Man, kind of collecting those powers. Nothing really big happens here. It's just kind of a test for his protege. I forget the guy's name. Like I said, it was kind of slow. Damage Control issue 1 is here. This is by Goldberg, Rodionov, Robson, and Redman. So this has 2 stories, and it's kind of a jokey, fun book. This character on the cover in the middle being an intern at Damage Control who always has been this company that cleans up the mess after superhero battles. So it was kind of like Marvel's version of The Office. You have people that work at Damage Control, superheroes everywhere. I really couldn't get through the second story. The first one kind of gave me enough what I need to know. It felt like Sunday newspaper cartoons, kind of. I don't know if you like that funny, jokey kind of stuff, but for me, I wasn't really into it. The last one I read from Marvel, Avengers Forever, Issue 8. This is by Jason Aaron, Cooter, and Guru EFX. Y'all, I almost gave this pick of the week. An unworthy Thor being taunted by Mjolnir, making his way to Kunlun. What is the Iron Fist place called? I always mess that up. I think it's Kunlun, but that doesn't really sound right. Anyway, he goes there and essentially is training to be the next Iron Fist and punching Mjolnir until his knuckles are calloused and broken. And it was an awesome issue of Thor versus Mjolnir and training to be this new power, to be this god of something that I don't want to spoil. I don't think I'm selling it right, but it was an amazing issue, and I think it could be read standalone. On to DC Comics, y'all. We got Detective Comics, also by Ram V. He's joined by Albuquerque and Stewart, Spurrier and Donnie. I really enjoy the artwork in here. The whole tone is very gritty, And it doesn't feel like comic booky DC event like the main title can sometimes feel. Although Chip Zdarsky has a very similar tone in his book going right now. But Ron V, being the music lover that he is, incorporating something called black noise, something that seems to have affected all of Gotham. There's something weird and strange going down in Gotham, and it seems to have that musical undertone to it. So definitely was digging that one. And then we're moving on over to Action Comics 1046. This is by Johnson, Oseo, and Lowridge. Backup story, A World Without Clark Kent by Johnson, Lapam, and Molahill. It seems like this might be the last issue of Superman in Warworld, which, I've enjoyed the story, but it's like, dang, he's been there for a little minute. Superman just showing why he's worthy, for lack of a better term. Him having to get the fire of, what is it, Arun or something like that? Ulgrun, I was way off. Yeah, so amazing artwork here. I really like the costume design for Clark Kent. And it seems like he's going to have everything he needs to just end this revolution of Warworld. And hopefully we get Clark Kent as Superman in a different story soon. The backup story was all right too. I mean, you kind of have like the Reign of Superman team a little bit with Steel, Superboy, and some others. I don't know, they were kind of going up against a random foe. It wasn't really anything to write home about. All right, guys, more Rom V. The last issue, or so it seems, issue 16 out of 16, because it was originally, like an 8-issue miniseries, and then they put out issue 9 and called it season 2. Kind of a somber ending, as the whole run had beautiful, amazing artwork, but it's really like meeting with the Parliament of Gears, Swamp Thing interacting with their avatar, and trying to find some balance of, for this new realm, really, to coexist with humans. So kind of somber, not ending with a big bang, kind of just ending, but it was nice. All right, now we have Batman Fortress issue 4. This is by Witta, Robertson, and Rodriguez. I don't know why he's got this "follow me if you want to live" like Arnold Schwarzenegger quotes on the front here. Don't like the artwork in here. Bruce Wayne looks crazy, like something out of Mad Magazine. And they're trying to find Superman's Fortress of Solitude because the aliens have EMP'd the whole planet, and they're trying to get Kryptonian technology to help that. Unfortunately, the Fortress of Solitude has been moved and is at the deepest part of the ocean, the Mariana Trench, so they have to kind of figure out how to dig that up. To me, it's not really warranting another Batman series. Speaking of which, Batman, we have White Knight Presents Red Hood Book 2, Sean Gordon Murphy, Clay McCormick, George Cambandias, Simone DeMeo, and Dave Stewart. I really like Sean Gordon Murphy's universe, but I think this was probably the weakest issue out of any one of those that I've ever read. I mean, Red Hood training this new character, this female Robin. Then he doesn't want her to be Robin, doesn't want her to get hurt. She goes out on her own. She does get hurt. I don't know. It just kind of felt out of place. Didn't really felt needed or necessary. Last one from DC, we have Robin, issue 17, which is apparently the last issue. I don't know why I thought this series ended on issue 15. But Joshua Williamson, Cruz, Ratman, and Guerrero, another kind of somber ending, really will be continuing in, I think it's Batman and Robin issue 1. Yeah, so it just kind of wraps up the story with Robin and his Lazarus Island crew. Lord Deathman goes super shredder because of Mother's Soul, and that whole thing gets wrapped up. A lot of closure, hanging out with his friends, finishing the last volume of the manga, or the latest volume, and kind of like some soul searching for Damian on who he is and who he plans to be, which, like I said, will continue in Batman and Robin 1. All right, guys, on to the indies. Boom Studios, we've got Grimm issue number 4 by Stephanie Phillips, Flaviano, and Rico Renzi. So, the story is that Jessica Haro is one of the Grim Reapers. There are many, but she's the only one that doesn't remember how she died, and she has abilities that others don't. She's able to go to the world of the living and interact with people and save them where others can't do that. So she's been on the mission to figure out why that is, and they go to the head honcho himself. So that's where we're at with the story. It's got good artwork. I don't know about this whole better than something is killing the children thing I'm hearing, but it's an enjoyable series so far. Then from Image Comics, Department of Truth, issue 20, James Tynion in the 4th, Simmons and Bidikar. Really like this issue. It's like reading a novel with a painting behind the words. It's very much dialogue driven, and this is more of the overarching story of Cole and the situation he's in between these different departments, whether it's the Department of Truth or the Ministry of Lies. And now they're tapping his loved one, his partner, figure out what's going on. He killed 2 agents in the prior issue, and they're trying to get to his close ones to, I don't know, wean him back in. But you know, it's hard to tell what's real in this world and who's telling the truth and who's the good guy and who's the bad guy. That's really the big theme here. Are we the good guys? I think so. Bam. Like, that's how he killed those agents. So yeah, digging Department of Truth. We're on issue 20. It's been a great series. Got some Spawn books that came out this week. Gunslinger Spawn, issue 11, Todd McFarlane, Brett Booth. I mean, could you ask for a better team up? Amazing artwork here. This one was really kind of going back to the beginning where this book started with the kid who his father was helping those evil angels. So it's a big battle between like one of those angels and Gunslinger Spawn trying to protect the kid. The artwork was amazing. I mean, that's really what you're getting out of these books. Gunslinger Spawn has been my favorite Spawn title that's been ongoing. But Scorched came out this week as well, issue 9, Sean Lewis and Steven Segovia. And I think this was my favorite issue of Scorched. You have the origin of the Plague Spawn back in the medieval times and his ties with medieval Spawn and all that kind of stuff. So again, amazing artwork here. Really liking what they're doing with Spawn. Scorched being this team-up book where they finally got Al Simmons to join on board. So you got Haunt, She-Spawn, Medieval Spawn, and then Al Simmons, which I don't think actually showed up in this book. Crazy origin with Plague, bloody, involving children. You know, they go high stakes with the Spawn stuff. All right, so Public Domain issue 3 is out. I did pick up issue 2 to get caught up on it. It's by Chip Zdarsky, and it's a great story, man. It is all about creator rights and how you have these creators who create characters, got paid for the pages or whatever, but then they become these big movies, video games, and all this stuff, you know, multi-million to billion-dollar properties that the creator doesn't get, you know, anything off of. $5,000 in a plane ticket, which is like actually really what they get. So if you're a fan of the comic book industry, this is a book for you. They found a document stating that their father actually does own the rights to the character Domain, I believe it is, and they're trying to sue, you know, to get what's owed. But there's a lot more to it, man, on how the father, the creator, he doesn't really want to ruffle feathers, and his wife is saying that he needs to fight for his creations, which is his children as well. There's a lot going on here, man. A lot to digest, and I think it's a great story, reads easily, and has a good message. It wasn't pick of the week, though. Before we get into the pick of the week, this video is brought to you by Ninja Funk. Help save the universe from bad music by telling your LCS to order Whatnot Publishing's first book coming out on November 2nd. Big shout out to JPG from THATSPIDERMANBOOTH.com and Street Level Hero. All right, guys, so the pick of the week is Rogues Gallery issue 2. I gotta stop tweeting these issues right when I read them because it could end up being like a spoiler as to what the pick of the week is. But Rogues Gallery is by Hannah Rose May and Justin Mason. It looks like they're joined by Pharrell, Oatsmain, El Howe, and Shalvey. Sorry. So Rogues Gallery issue 1 was all about these fans of this property that the actress quit after the 8th season and ended up also buying like the first appearance of the character, and it was signed, and everybody hates this actress. She doesn't care about the fans. She turned down all this money, and basically like how fans feel about actors or actresses when they do something that they don't like. Issue 2 gave us the actress's perspective and how she literally bleeds for this show and how people attack her online and how cruel people can be on the internet. And it was just like, wow, I totally didn't expect that. And I think a lot of people need to read this because people are so quick to attack people online, and you don't realize that these people have feelings, man, and that these people are really in love with this property even more so than you may be. Read Rogues Gallery 1 and 2, man. I think it's a great read, a must read for comic book fans and for people on social media. And that's going to do it for the new Comic Book Day reviews, y'all. I appreciate you watching. Catch you next time. Stay minty fresh. I'm going to be on Whatnot later today, 2 p.m. Pacific, 5 p.m. Eastern, for Indie Week, actually. Peace.